So it's the calm before the storm here in Palestine, Texas. Today is Valentine's Day, February 14th, 2021. It has been a record year as far as snowfall here in East Texas. This past week, as you can tell, let me zoom in a little bit. You can see some of these little cedars back there, baby pines are leaning. We've been having some ice accumulation, freezing drizzle, light freezing rain over the past few days. It hasn't gotten over freezing here in Palestine, Texas. Now is the fourth day. We got 3 more days of this, but a powerful winter storm, the Weather Channel refers to it as Winterstorm Uri, is going to be coming in here tonight. Close to blizzard conditions can be expected across many portions of Texas. I'm going to document this whole thing. I'm hoping that the power doesn't go out, and I'm going to try to get some good shots. Unfortunately, it's going to start coming in when it gets dark, but I'm going to do the best that I can to document this whole storm for you. So it's about 5:15 again here in Palestine, Texas. And we are getting some extremely light snow. We had a sleet shower come through here and turned everything white, and now we're getting a bunch of what appears to be snow grains. So again, I wouldn't even call this really a dusting. We're gonna see what happens soon. There's some heavier bands that are setting up to our west and southwest. And right now, Palestine apparently is the bullseye for snowfall. Visibility is starting to go down just a little bit. This snow mist, these small snow grains, they're coming in bunches now. So snow rates are going to start picking up fairly soon, and hopefully we can get some video of it before it gets dark. I brought my trash can up here close to the front door so I don't have to venture out too far. Also brought the grill up here. Got some shovels and a hoe and axe for firewood. This is all my firewood. I have it covered with the grill cover. Some stuff to help start some fire if I need. This is Button, and he's only out here for a little bit. Whenever it gets cold tonight, we're gonna take him inside. And no, he's not an inside cat, but you gotta keep your pets safe. Isn't that right, Button? Also, guys, I wanted to mention something because it's really interesting. This is powdery snow. We are not used to powdery snow here in East Texas. We are used to temperatures being anywhere from 31 to like 34 whenever it snows. Not being in the mid to low 20s, and it's going to drop into the teens very soon. This is going to be a very powdery snow, something that's not common around here. The deck is already fully covered. You can hear that, guys. We're getting some sleet showers, and I'm really mad because right before I hit action on this video, I heard a rumble of thunder. So this is gonna just continue to fill in all the cracks basically before our heavier snow bands to the west get here. I'm guessing another hour possibly before some of those bands get here, and I will be here to show you the flakes. All right, guys, really big chunks of sleet coming down, as you can see and hear. Things are starting to get a little bit more serious. Roads are becoming very slick. We have a nice coating. Wish you could see how big some of these pieces of sleet are. I know you can hear it on video though. It's huge right now. Coming down really hard. Quick accumulations. We are starting to transition from sleet and some small snow grains to now we got some really impressive fatter flakes. I'm actually surprised the flakes are this big considering the temperature's 22 degrees. I'm sure they'll get a little bit smaller later, but this is intense. Now the accumulations will really ramp up. Really heavy snow here in Palestine, Texas. The flakes are getting fatter. Accumulation. We got a good coating. But we're one of the hot spots according to the models, to pick up anywhere from 6 to 10 inches. So we'll see what happens. This is a good start. The main band coming in a little bit later, so here's an update, guys. I'm estimating about an inch, give or take a tenth or two. So far, we're about 10 p.m. here in Palestine, Texas. Every time one of these new, heavier snow bands come in, it always starts out as huge chunks of sleet. Like, it is coming down so hard. I know you can hear that. I'll shut up for a minute. I mean, these are some pretty big pieces of sleet. And trust me, I know my sleet. I live in East Texas. That's about all the winter weather we get. That or freezing rain. So this is pretty impressive. Look at how fast that's accumulating just on my jacket right here. And then here in just a few seconds, you'll see it transform, into big snowflakes. And I'm already kind of starting to see a few bigger snowflakes mixed in. That's how it happens every time. I guess we still have a little bit of a warm nose here. At 15 degrees, mind you. Heaviest sleet we have seen so far tonight. We went from some sleet, snow grains, to really heavy snow, back to extremely heavy sleet right now. The video doesn't do justice because it's dark. Just to show you how hard this sleet is coming down, check this out. Pretty freaking fast. This is probably ranked in the top 3 sleet storms I've ever been a part of. All right, guys, so a quick update at 1 a.m. We are sitting at about 1.5 inches, maybe a little bit higher. You can see my footprints over here going over there to get the measurements on the deck. Everything's covered. We still have the heaviest snow to come. So I will be showing you video of that, and of course at the end of the video we are going to have some pictures and some final measurements to see the storm totals. Alright guys, so the heaviest part of this event is now moving in. I'm going to take you outside in just a few seconds, but the power just went out here at the house for 15 minutes. Texas is doing rolling blackouts, meaning that they are shutting people's power off 15 to 45 minutes. Ours was out for just 15 minutes, thankfully, in this brutally cold situation that we're in. Caught a lot of people by surprise, but in order to not overwhelm the whole electric grid here in Texas, so the whole thing shuts off, they have to do this. It sucks, but it shows the significance and the power of this winter storm. So the heaviest bands are starting to move in now. I estimate that we have about 2 to probably 2.25 inches of snow, maybe more. Maybe I'm underestimating here. Again, we'll get the official measurement once this thing is completed. But it's coming down very fast right now. I'd have to say probably close to an inch an hour. And we're not even in the heaviest part of this yet. There could be snowfall rates approaching. You see the wind kicking up. It's near blizzard conditions here in East Texas. It's pretty crazy. But snowfall rates could get up to 1.5 inches to even 2 inches in some of these convective bands. I will update you here in just a second. What's up, guys? So it's after 3 a.m. It's still snowing pretty heavily outside. The power is off again. I'm using my flashlight so I could have a little bit of light right here. You can see some candles in the background. We were pretty prepared for this. However, I thought the weather would actually be directly causing the power outage instead of rolling blackouts, but I understand that they got to do what they got to do to keep Texas as a whole safe. So this is the third time that the power has gone out. It seems like it's going off for about 15 minutes, coming back on for about 15, 20, 25 minutes. So that's the rolling blackout that we have going on right now. Snow is still coming on heavily. Power again. That's always good news. It'll go out in about 20 minutes, but outside, as you can see, I'm showing you through my window, coming down moderate to heavy, low end heavy snow. It's hard to see on the video. Again, I wish the storm would have come through during the day so you could get better pictures. All right, guys, so this is the hardest it has come down since this event started. Some really good accumulation. I'm excited to do the final measurements. Probably in about 2.5 hours, I would guess, whenever the back edge is gonna come through. Bro, the snow is freaking crazy out here right now. Extremely high rates. I know I've said this already 2 times, but this is the hardest it has come down tonight. Probably about 1.5 to 2 hours left of this. Then sadly, the back edge will be here. Whiteout conditions here in Palestine, Texas. If the wind was a little bit higher here, we could qualify for a blizzard warning. Not quite there though. Power went out again, so I'm having to use the flashlight looking out the window. But guys, like, look at this. This is crazy heavy snow. Now, they're not fat flakes because it's super cold outside. I think it's actually 11 degrees. But the volume here, this has got to be like 15-to-1 ratio. This is freaking insane right now. Like, this is the heaviest snowfall rates ever. And it's weird, I'm accustomed to really fat flakes. These are smaller flakes, but it's coming down even faster. I'm guessing the ratio has to be easily over 10-to-1. Probably closer to 12, 13 plus to 1. This is freaking mind-boggling. 4 to 5 inches so far. It looks like the back edge is trying to close in. We'll see how fast that progresses east, but at least another hour 15 of rates like this. I guess you could say things are getting pretty serious. All right, guys, so we were dealing with 15 to 20 minutes with power on, 15 minutes with it off, about 3 or 4 times. Now the power's been out for about 1 hour, 20 minutes. And I will show you what the temperature says in the house now. So we got 10 degrees outside, 52 inside. So it's starting to get cold in here. I've been hesitant to light the fireplace because I was hoping for the power to kick back on. Earlier I was telling you about the rolling blackout. We were having power on for about 15-20 minutes and it would go off for 20 minutes. That happened like 4 or 5 times. Now it's been off for well over an hour, probably 1.5 hours at this point. So the rolling blackouts apparently are not doing that great. And now I have to make a decision to try to stick this out another hour and let the temperature drop another 5-10 degrees. I have 3 kids and a wife. Or go ahead and light a fire. And now a lot of you are probably thinking, just go ahead and light the fire right now. I have a stock of firewood, but here's the deal. This is East Texas. We don't get weather like this, and we are about to get another ice storm in 2 days. The temperature tomorrow is not going to go up, so roads are not going to be good enough to travel on. Definitely for us, we have a Toyota Corolla, so we're stuck here. We are stuck here. And I've almost exhausted all the firewood around here, so we're kind of in a pickle. Do I go ahead and light this fire, or do I wait it out? to see if they're going to turn the power back on, because I know for a fact on Wednesday when this ice storm hits, we are going to lose power, and I'm going to have to use all of that firewood. So I guess we'll see what I decided to do in a second. So I pulled an all-nighter, fresh blanket of snow here in Palestine, Texas. Look at this, beautiful. Got the sun over there. Right after the last flurries flew. Got a lot of snow. I expected probably about an inch more, maybe 2 inches more. It's beautiful though. So the power company, they're taking too long, so I decided to go ahead and start up a fire. It feels really good to feel warm. Even just a few hours in the freezing cold will make you appreciate warmth. I got some more stocked up here. And I have a bunch of firewood outside. Let's just hope that the power company gets their act together, hopefully in the next day and a half or so, and we'll be all right. All right, so after I made that fire, I got comfy right there on that recliner. I stayed in here because I wanted to keep an eye on the fire, because honestly, I'd never made a fire in a fireplace in my life. And my family stayed back in the bedroom, and they huddled up, cuddled up, stayed warm. The next day I woke up and I was highly disappointed because the power wasn't on. So we were promised, 15 minutes off, 15 minutes on, anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes off, 15 to 30 minutes on. I woke up, no power, and it had been hours. The house was freaking cold, and I knew that we had the coldest night ever in this town coming up. It ended up hitting -6, and I was getting a little worried. I didn't know how everything was going to hold up. I didn't know if a pipe was going to burst in our house that next night. So we got up, moved around a little bit. We ended up taking a nap, and that's a common theme. You'll see it in all the videos. You see it in all the pictures on social media. Everybody is huddled up, laying around lethargic, taking naps, sleeping, huddled up around a fireplace, or just cuddled up in bed. So we did that for a few more hours. Then we got up, and it was already like 5:30, 5:45, and it was already starting getting dark again. We were like, holy crap, the power had only come on 15 minutes, like twice that afternoon. Not enough to heat this house. We have a big house, so the heater coming on for a few minutes does not really do much of anything in this house. So we lit candles. I started a fire again. We all came in the living room. I cooked hot dogs on the grill with the charcoal that I had, so I'm thankful that I have a grill where I could cook a hot meal. We ate our meal in here, which was nice. But all throughout that day, tensions were high. A lot of emotions, a lot of frustration. I think I deal with the cold weather quite well. I'm a weather nerd, like I said early in this video. Like, I love weather. You could see my passion there. But my family's a little bit different story, right? And I didn't film throughout this. So I want you to know, guys, emotions were high. But I can't be the husband, the father, dad, or the man that I need to be for my family if I'm sitting around, walking around with a camera like this. So I didn't film throughout that day. It was a very hard day. It's probably the hardest day out of all of this. Realizing that we have a record-breaking night of cold weather coming up, and we got to stay warm and stay safe. After hearing all the horror stories of pipes bursting and people at this point dying and refrigerator trucks being ordered, you know, for cities that have, you know, people that died in their homes that are frozen. It was scary. It was definitely scary. Okay, so if you live in America, you probably know the situation going on in Texas. Now, as of like an hour ago, like 4,100,000 people are without power, which is crazy. You put that up against all the other natural disasters, it's like mind-boggling. We don't have power here. We haven't had it for a long time. It's cold in the house. Just check the thermometer. It's 4 degrees outside. It's probably gonna get down to like -3, 4, 5, possibly even 6 tonight. We're doing okay here. We have food, we prepared, we stocked up. All right, so if you're in Texas right now, this is a catastrophe. This is catastrophic. As of tonight, which is Monday, it's getting close to midnight here, and we're in Palestine, Texas. Got hit hard by this winter storm. The temperature in my house right now is in the low 40s, which is better than a lot. We have a fireplace, which is kind of helping. But you know, I gotta keep up with the wood and kind of ration that. It's been really hard. We're coming up on 20 hours without power. It's very cold. I know there's a lot of people that aren't as prepared as I was and isn't as fortunate enough to have a fireplace. This is real. This is like straight up real. This is hardcore. This is gonna be catastrophic on so many different levels. Cell service, now that's leaving. Some towns don't have enough energy to even power their water system, so they're shutting off water to people. And tonight is going to be the biggest test, but we have another strong test coming tomorrow night, Tuesday night, a huge snowstorm / ice storm. We're going to be on the ice end, which is not good, which could lead to more power outages that are just due to the weather instead of rolling blackouts. That's going to hit as well then. So there's a very good possibility that things aren't getting back to normal here in my neck of the woods and for much of Texans until this weekend. So my prayers go out to everyone. This is very, very difficult. I just put the last of my food from the fridge that I want to save into an ice chest. I bought 10 bags of ice, so we have that as well. I'm gonna update you guys as this process goes along. We have water. No pipes have bursted yet, knock on wood. Just trying to make it through to Friday, Saturday. So if you're cold out there, you're not alone. You're not alone at all. So it's Tuesday around 3 p.m. It has been a very hard 2 days here in East Texas, pretty much all over Texas, a complete disaster. This morning, it dropped down to -6 here in Palestine. The lowest I've seen it in my 30 years here was 6 degrees. We've been utilizing the fireplace, keeping warm with multiple layers, multiple blankets. And when the power comes back on and for 15 minutes before it goes off for another 6 hours, we try to make sure the house stays warm. We get the space heater going, and we try to charge our devices, and that's how we've been basically making it through. I have tons of charcoal that I've been able to cook our food so we can at least have some hot meals, and we have tons of water, and our pipes haven't frozen yet. That's the good news. Bad news is there's no telling when these blackouts are gonna end. Like I said, it's been a total failure. Earlier today, we were around 4,300,000 people without power. And there's been many people dying of carbon monoxide poisoning, house fires, and just freezing to death. I'm scared to see what the numbers are gonna be when this is over. And unfortunately, another winter storm. As you can see, the clouds, we had pretty blue skies earlier today. It was really nice to see the sun. It kind of melted a little bit of the snow, even though we've been in the teens most of the day. It's kind of weird, but it can still happen. So we probably lost about a half an inch to an inch of snow just from the heat of the sun. But another winter storm is coming in tonight, so there will be more video. This is incredible. This has been pretty insane. I was never able to actually get an official measurement because we were too cold and the house was freezing and I didn't want to go in and out. So like I said, we lost about a ½ inch to an inch over the past 2 days from peaks of sun. So we're talking about anywhere from 5 inches to 7 inches, depending on what part of town you're in. And the fact that it's still around 2 days later and it will still be around for another 2 days is mind-boggling. But tonight, it looks like we're gonna start out with a little bit of snow, and then it's gonna quickly transition to freezing rain and sleet. Very bad news. I'm gonna be here to take photos, to document it, to see what happens, but we're in for it again. Ice accumulations again, 1/4 inch to a ½ inch or greater. Probably going to see an upgrade to an ice storm warning instead of a winter storm warning for the East Texas and Central Texas area, and anywhere from a ½ inch to 2 inches of fresh snow on top of that. So this is pretty intense. We're going to hang in there and try to stay warm. I don't know if you guys can hear that crunch. It's one of my favorite sounds. Again, this is where I've been cooking my food. It was underneath the awning, but today I had a little bit of a grease fire in there and I had to take it out. We got tons of firewood under that grill cover right here. And fire starters if I've needed any, but I haven't needed any so far, luckily. So yeah, we're making it. All right, guys, so our last, hopefully, winter storm is moving through. Like I said, it's gonna be a big ice maker. It is starting out as sleet here. I was hoping it would start out as snow, so then it could move to sleet and then maybe minimize the amount of freezing rain that we get. But we're already starting out with sleet, which means the warm nose is more prominent than I previously thought it would be. So hopefully we can stay with more sleet. There's more traction to it. But I have a sneaky suspicion probably in the next 2 to 3 hours we're going to switch over to freezing rain and there's going to be some issues. So I'll keep you updated. I'll be back in a little bit. All right, so while I have power, I'm going to show you some things that I did to prepare for this that helped us stay a little bit more fortunate than those that weren't prepared, that didn't have generators. We do not have a generator here. These things right here, probably about 20 bucks on Walmart. We bought 3 of them. We charged all of them to 100% before the storm hit. I haven't even had to go through this one. They're so strong and so powerful. They will charge all your devices like 4 or 5 times over once they're at 100%, so that's good. I bought this, haven't used it yet. We love our coffee, so when the power is out, I can start a fire, put this on the grill, make our coffee, hot chocolate for the kids. These are just, what do we have here? We have 8 candles. But this is 8 out of probably 35, 40 candles that we have in the house. Plus we have a bunch of the tiny ones, probably 50 of those. So very handy to have these when the power go out. These are 2 big, huge things of charcoal fluid starter. I have about 2 more smaller containers that I've been using. Been cooking our food on the grill, so we have that. This is a blowtorch that I haven't had to use. I got this in case I had trouble starting a fire outside or our fire inside the fireplace. But these have done very well. There were no fire logs to help start the power, so I bought these, and they've worked great to start the fire at our fireplace. Now I've gone through some of our wood. This is some of the wood that we have left that I got from a gas station, luckily, a couple days before this hit. Still some over here. This is our fireplace. We have it covered because we noticed that cold air was getting in whenever we weren't using it. So we covered it up, very important. So if you have a fireplace and you're not using it, cover it up. This is our huge sliding door that we don't even use. But at the bottom, we've put blankets here as well, as you can see, because cold air was seeping in under there. Very important to figure out where cold air is coming into your house so you can adjust accordingly. This is just some of the charcoal that we have left, 2 huge bags. My toolbox in case I need it from the shed so I don't have to go out there and bring cold air in with gloves. ice chest with ice in there. I've already had to use it once to put our cold stuff in the refrigerator in there. The power came on for a decent amount of time this evening, so I was able to put things back in there. We brought the kennel in for the cat. The cat is now in our big office. Keep your pets safe, obviously, when temperatures get this low. We've done so with our cat. Also, I have another 8 bags of ice in our deep freeze in case I need to transfer it to here, in case the power outage lasts longer than expected. This is the water and the Gatorades that we have left. There was much more before, but this is what we have left, and we're trying to be careful with how much we use in case the water goes out. This is a chargeable lantern. It's on the charger right now because the power is on. So if you ever lose power and it's cold, be sure to recharge your devices. This lantern is amazing, and we've been using it. We've got the tub dripping, so it can help prevent any freezing, and we've got obviously we have some water in the tub, and I got these huge pots and filled them up with water because a lot of places are shutting down their water systems and we don't want to go without water, so we have that in case. We are keeping all of our faucets dripping to help prevent our pipes from freezing, and we keep the cabinets open so whenever the power comes on like it is on now, the warm air can reach under there, and to also help prevent it from freezing. I've wrapped the pipes. We didn't have any pipe wrap. We all sold out days before, so pool noodles work really well, and I've done this to all the pipes in the house and outside. It's also important to have tons of non-perishable foods. We have tons of those in our cabinets in case we don't have a heating source, I guess, to make food, obviously, so we're good there. All right, so we have a lot of flashlights around the house and tons of extra batteries. These come in extreme handy. Nobody likes to carry around candles around the house, so having a flashlight helps a lot. We had an old mattress, so I laid it down here in the office for this butthole to freaking sleep. And the reason I say butthole is because today I let Mr. Button out to go out in the snow for the first time in 2 days because the temperatures warmed up, and he killed 2 birds because the snow makes them extra stealthy. Really pissed me off whenever he killed those birds. I hate it whenever he does it. I know that's what cats do, so I can't be super mad at his instincts. But yeah, Button, you're a bad boy today. Yeah, so I decided to bring him back in, keep him in here, even though the temperatures are warming up. As long as snow is on the ground, he's gonna continue to kill little birds. Bad boy. Hairball. Hairball live on YouTube here. Cough it up. Now in a little bit, I'm gonna bring you back outside because our sleet has transformed into freezing rain, which is a horrible nightmare right now for East Texas, Central Texas. It's happening all over. Areas around Dallas are still getting snow. I'd love to have snow or even sleet at this point. There's more traction to it. People can get around. It also doesn't stick to trees as much. The snow that people are getting in Dallas is powdery, so it's not wet snow sticking on trees and limbs and stuff to cause power outages. Here we're getting freezing rain. It's falling down through a warm area in atmosphere, and then it's freezing on contact. So it weighs down trees, power lines, etc., and that's what we're dealing with. And I'm nervous that the power that we have now, which has been on for a long time now, for a couple hours, which is very surprising, I'm scared that this is gonna be the new issue. You hear that crunch? That's freezing rain on top of snow. Extra crunchy. Moderate freezing rain right now. Pretty much the worst case scenario. After an area that's been hit with all the power issues, the snowfall, the ice before the snowfall. Let's hope this doesn't last too much longer. So after about 30 to 45 minutes of this light to moderate freezing rain, this is what we're dealing with. These hedges, obviously in the winter, they don't shed their leaves, so this is not the best representation because up there, as you can see, there's no leaves on those trees, which is great. because we'd be dealing with a lot more. But we have pine trees here in East Texas, and those things will freaking fall down whenever they have ice on them. Luckily, I don't have any pine trees here. But all these have tons of ice on them. You can hear the crispiness, tons of it, and they're weighed down. And you can see the freezing rain right behind that. This is expected to continue probably for at least another 3 to 6 hours. So I'll try to update you guys. I'm getting tired. I need to get some sleep, but I'll probably stay up for a little bit longer and update you guys on the situation here. Now that the power's been on for a few hours, the house is warm. So now icicles are starting to form because the heat from the house is melting the snow from the top of the roof. It's funny how that works. But now that there's heat in here, the snow's starting to melt slightly and is leading to icicles. Okay guys, another update. I pulled another all-nighter. I'm out here, freezing rain. Ice storm is still in full effect, probably for another hour and a half here. Good news, we've had power for quite a few hours. That's great. The house is warm, we're toasty inside. But we got a lot of things leaning, including my hedges and a lot of these cedars and small pines out there in the distance. But I think we may come out of this okay. I'm gonna have some pictures, I'm gonna have some more updates. If anything goes south, I will be right back here with you guys in a little bit. I'm so excited to eat this. Guys, you don't understand. It was so nice to use my freaking stove. My freaking stove, guys. I got to use it. Mega icicle formations happening here. Things are getting pretty serious. It's coming down pretty hard. Pretty much the last band, but it's training over Anderson County. I'd say we'd probably have 2/10 of an inch of ice. So it's getting pretty real here. Bro, my hedges, they're leaning so much. So much ice. It's coming down hard here. Look at the icicles forming. Look at these bad boys over here. Hardcore freezing rain. We haven't lost power for about 8 hours, which is very surprising. I don't know why, but with the conditions deteriorating here, I wouldn't be surprised if we did. All right, so the ice storm came and went. We probably picked up 2/10 to maybe 1/4 inch of ice, which is very significant. Luckily, there were no further power outages. These are my hedges. They were weighed down by the ice. You can see a little bit of snow that was left on there, but the ice really did a number on these. Usually in the middle of the screen right here, it's nothing but full green, straight up hedges, and you can see how they're all bent. I'm just hoping that, you know, there aren't some of these that are permanently going to be bent after all this, because these have been iced down for quite some time, and they probably will remain iced for another 24 to 48 hours. So hopefully it doesn't permanently bend these, but this is just some of the evidence of the ice that we got. Now I think just calling these icicles would be an understatement, especially these 3 or 4 bad boys right here. I would refer to these as death sickles. Like, they just look straight up dangerous. And since we got freezing rain on top of all this beautiful fluffy snow, it used to make a nice little crunch whenever I would step. Now look what it does. It's like... It's still pretty satisfying, to be honest, but it is funny how the freezing rain made it into like a hard plate. My beautiful wind chime has been turned into a death weapon. This is our fountain, and it's completely froze over. As you can see, it's been frozen probably for about 5 days. Here's another shot of those hedges from the front. You can see how they're not supposed to be leaning that far. Okay, so my path to the garage is very dicey. icy and dicey. I got to go get the sledgehammer and break some of this up so you know, we can have an easier path to get there, because this is gonna freeze and refreeze over and over again for the next 3 nights. So I'm gonna try to make life a little bit easier with that. All right, so now I can walk back and forth from my house to my garage without having to worry about falling, because I have almost fallen probably 3 or 4 times. I'm not used to walking on ice, so this will be good. So with the trash can, I purposely took all the snow off of it, and then I set it out here just for the ice event. You can kind of see those little balls of ice are like sleet where it mixed in. But other than that, it was nothing but just solid ice. There you go, you can see it. Here are a lot of icicles on this side of the house. Now, the funny thing about icicles is if it's super cold outside and everything is sticking to your roof and you don't have much power, then you're probably not gonna get a lot of icicles. The icicles happen whenever the heat inside your home warms the area underneath the roof, and then it melts a little bit of the snow, and then it drips down, and then it freezes. Little interesting fact. So these things formed basically in the last day whenever our power came back on. I can only imagine how long these things would be if we had power for longer. So let me show you kind of here on my trampoline what the consistency of this winter precip is. Like I said, we got a bunch of snow, and then we had freezing rain on top of it. So once you punch through the initial plate of ice, which, you know, you have these, there's this beautiful powdery snow underneath. It's really funny. And like I said earlier, we're not used to getting powdery snow. Of course, it's not very powdery anymore. It's wet, but you know what I mean. So it's all over with. I'm actually thankful that it's over with. I'm ready for spring. I'm over this. You know, if it just had snowed and we got to come out here with the kids and play in it, that would have been fine. But the power loss, being extremely cold in our own home, not being able to always eat hot meals, not being able to sleep, our daughter getting sick because of this, and then just hearing about all the people that lost their lives. It was a total disaster, and I didn't want that. So this video started out as just me being curious and being a weather nerd and kind of excited to document it. And I thought if we lost power, maybe it'd be for a day. I didn't think we'd be going 3 or 4 days without power, struggling to stay warm. So my heart goes out to the people that were affected by this, and it was millions. My heart goes out to the families that lost somebody because of this. It's a tragedy. It shouldn't have happened. I know these things can do some good for you. I will never take electricity and being warm and you know, being able to use my stove and be able to easily make myself coffee for granted. So I think this will humble and change a lot of people, just like the pandemic humbled a lot of people. We didn't really appreciate getting to go places and do things until we were told we couldn't. I couldn't leave this place. We were, you know, snowed and iced in. Nothing was open. I couldn't get anybody to bring me anything that I needed. Luckily, I was prepared, but I'm very, very thankful. I'm thankful that my family is healthy and they're doing okay. My daughter's feeling better now. I'm thankful that we're alive because a lot of people lost their lives in this. But guys, I love you all, and thank you so much for watching this video.